Hi. So in today's video we are making these cool eye pieces. Stick around to the end, there's going to be tips and tricks on hardware, sticky UV resin, stuff like that. Right, let's go. Right, we are back. We're going to try a couple of different things, a little bit different to what I'd normally do. So I made this on a different platform. I did a short video. This was my first attempt. Now before I go into this, I do want to say that I don't want to cause arguments in the comments. Some people don't agree with this kind of stuff. Some people do. I'm not going to go into the history behind the eye. You can look that up. There's lots of videos on YouTube. Some people see it as a protection. Some people see it as a bad thing. But I'm just gonna show you how I did it. Now this one went a little bit of a dodgy color, and I'm going to talk you through why. But what we're going to do today is another one of the pendants in this mold, and we're also going to use this mold to make a ring with this ring blank. Now this one is a stainless steel. They come in silver plated, or you could even have an attempt at wire wrapping. Here's one I made quite a while ago. It's not the eye, but it's the same size cabochon that we're going to be making in this mold. So we are doing this with UV resin. If you want to attempt it with 2-part resin, give it a try. But the thing is, we do need to do 1, 2, 3 blobs and then the outer colour. So there's going to be lots of curing times. You might be able to play around with it and work out how to do it a bit quicker, maybe using a heat mat or something. But you can control the blobs with 2-part. I've seen it done with the raindrop effect. It's just a lot harder to control with 2-part resin. So I think we'll start with the pendant. Now, what you could do is draw out these circles and pop the drawing underneath the pendant. So then you've got a kind of guideline to go with. What I did, I didn't think that far ahead when I tried this. It was a quick 10-minute job. I just held the mold above my head and looked underneath, but I'm not going to recommend doing that because there are safety issues with doing that. So I would recommend drawing the design underneath. Once you've made one, you could always use that, which is what I'm going to do today, is just prop that underneath so I can see where I need to go. So quick products, what I'm using: Let's Resin UV resin. I'm using a blue mica powder and white mica powder from the 36 set from Let's Resin. And I'm also using a liquid dye which will finish the piece off. So this is the blue. The issue I found with the Sapphire Blue is it went a greeny colour. I did a couple of test drops down here just to show you. So this is the normal blue, which is what we want. But the sky blue turns a yucky greeny colour. Hence why my pendant turned out a bit icky. So the first stage is just a small, tiny amount of black mica powder. So I've just got some on the end of my dotting tool. Less is best to begin with because you want the UV to be able to cure through the resin. And then all we do is just follow that guide that we've got underneath, or drawing, whatever you've got, and just drop the black into the mould. You could try this on a larger scale, smaller scale, whatever you like. And then we cure that. Once you know that is hard, we can do a blast from underneath towards the end. We can then mix up our blue, which will be a mica powder. Probably a bit too much in there. So this is the normal blue. And again, just a small amount on my dotting tool. And just mix that in. Massive shout out to my channel members, anyone who's bought me a coffee or a super thanks. It's very much appreciated. Thank you very much. So again, we don't want too much because we want that UV to be able to penetrate through and cure it thoroughly. Now I can see, because my first one was a little bit off center, so I can now just move my mold to fit more central in that blue area. And then just a drop at a time, I'm just applying that over the black. You can see what I'm doing. This is such an easy piece of jewelry to make. And just let it fall down over the black resin. You can, if you want, if you're a bit impatient, just start to manipulate it over, but you don't want to really go outside that area. I'm dropping blue mica powder inside my mold. I'm gonna have to clean it now before, well, I cure this. I'll cure this blue layer first and then I can clean that up. Just a bit of masking tape will do. And then we just repeat the process with our white. Again, just applying it to the top of the blue and then letting gravity do its own thing. And then obviously cure that. And whilst I already have my leftover colours ready, I'm going to start on the ring. Now, I've shown this before on my channel. This is a really, really must have if you have this mould. Because what you can do is it has two sides, it's two sides. What you can do is you can measure your pieces on this side, but you can also measure the inside of a cavity with the other side. And what that helps with is we can then use that measurement to then search on Amazon or wherever you buy your stuff from for the right size blanks for your pieces. So with this one, we know we need a 12mm piece. So we can then hold that and then go along the mold, and we know it's this cavity here which will fit this ring blank. As always, all the links for everything I'm using are in the description box below. This also helps with finding the right hardware, such as these bales. So you can measure the thickness of your pieces, however thick you make them, and then you can look on the listings and compare it to the prong sizes. So I'm going to skip this part because you've seen how I do it. All I'm going to do is just copy what I've already done in the other mold, and hopefully I can get it central. I think the birds in the garden are having a bit of a fight. So all we need to do now is just finish them off with our blue. So what you could do is finish this off in two parts if you're a bit more patient than what I am. But I am just going to cheat and use dyed UV resin. And again, this is the blue, not the sky blue, and these are translucent, they're not opaque. Start with one drop and see how it goes. So I went for 2 drops in mine. Don't go too mad, because what that can do is cause your UV resin to be sticky once it's finished. And I'll show you a trick that I've picked up on the way on how to sort out sticky UV resin. Now you want to do this in layers if you're using UV resin, just so it cures properly. It doesn't get too hot. And what you want to do is just go round very gently around the middle part that we've already cured, just in case there's any bubbles stuck around the edges, and just manipulate the resin round the piece and then cure. So once you're happy that they're set, just to make double sure the underneaths are cured, just turn it over and give it a blast. Okay, we're all done. So if you take out your UV resin and it's sticky, just a small cup of water. Let me move that, otherwise I'm going to spill it. There are a couple of reasons why your UV is sticky. It could be, well, there's many, but the main things are brands, the power of your light, and additives. Humidity can make a difference. Lots of different things can affect your UV stickiness. But if it is, just pop the piece into a small cup of water, get your light, and put it over the top for a minute. And just prod and move it around just to make sure the whole piece is getting blasted. So I've just taken my eye out the water, and as you can see, no stickiness whatsoever. I haven't literally taken my eye out. And again for the big one, I mean, you can wipe it with tissue and it will not leave a mark. This is good as 2-part resin. It's a really good hack. I wish I knew this from the start, but to be honest with you, I don't really have the issue unless I am using additives. Aye aye. I couldn't resist. So I would normally use E6000 plus. So I'd put a dab in there and a dab on the back, and then give it about a minute and then bond the two together. But my E6000 plus has gone missing somewhere, so I am just going to rest it inside for now. But there you go, that is a really cool ring. And these colors, different colors of the eyes mean different things, but again, do your own research on that. I'm not sure how it all works. Bit of manipulation, that will click inside. There it goes. So the pendant, I will try and find the link for these bales. I think I got mine in a kit of different sizes. I haven't filled my piece right up, so these prongs are probably going to be a little bit too big. But you can get different size bales. Again, use the measuring tool to find what fits best. And as always, give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. It is free. I don't charge for subscriptions to my channel. A lovely lady on Facebook last night asked how much it costs to subscribe. And you know, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. That is just my membership. And if you fancy a giggle, go back to my very first video on YouTube. It might take a little while to scroll down and just see how nervous I was. I watched it back a few days ago and it was quite amusing to watch. But it's thanks to you guys and all your support. Those shaking hands, the nervousness has just vanished, and it's really helped with my anxiety and stuff like that. So I have to thank you all for coming back and giving the video good interaction and comments. There we have it. Bit of dust from the tissue. Really simple and easy and very cheap to make. Minimal amounts of resin, especially in these rings. There you go. Right, I will see you for the next one. Look at those eyes. Woo! Bye for now.